So apparently the Lucha Brothers are leaving AEW. Now, people on Twitter, okay, all over Twitter, this is all I've been seeing the last day, 2 days, is that, Lucha Bros leaving AEW. What does this mean for AEW? What does it mean for Tony Khan? Obviously there's some people who are like, well, that's it. That's the end of AEW. Lucha Bros are gone. Then there are others who are like, guys, we lost Cody. We lost CM Punk. We lost Jade Cargill. Lucha Bros, that's not even going to make a difference. Think of all the talent Tony Khan has signed. Mercedes Moné, Ospreay, Okada, just in 2024 alone. And while that is true, I don't think Lucha Bros leaving is really going to make a dent in anything going on in AEW. I don't think it's going to, I don't think ratings are going to get any lower than they already have been. And on the same token, I don't think, spending money for people like Okada and Ospreay, I don't really think that's making a big difference either in the ratings. So, Lucha Bros leaving AEW, and this is what AEW fans don't understand, okay? Because people saying, people making a bigger deal out of this than they might ought to, it's not because people think this is the end times for AEW. That's not it at all. Punk left and they were fine. Cody left, they're fine. What this says about AEW is that AEW really is not for superstars. Wrestlers don't want to be there in the long term. That's really what it's showing. And we've seen this because all of their top stars have left, except for MJF, who's probably making the most out of anybody on the entire roster. Right? MJF didn't leave. He's the one exception. But at the end of the day, they're going to give MJF whatever he wants. Right? So unless you're getting whatever you want, you know that you can go somewhere else and probably, there's more screen time for you in a different company. You're a bigger star in a different company. And the Lucha Brothers leaving is really just a reminder that AEW now is nowhere near what it was in the beginning. It's nowhere near what it was in that 2021 era. It's completely lost the feeling. Now, I at the beginning of the year, I said, Tony Khan has, 2024. He's got this 1 year to prove to me that I should still be watching AEW come 2025. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I've missed the last couple of shows. I missed Blood and Guts. And then I missed the week after. Now, for one of those Wednesdays, I was busy. But for the other one, I just didn't remember that it was even on. Because I completely, for a while there, I lost interest in wrestling. But specifically, I lost interest in AEW. The SummerSlam just came on. Right? And that was an incredible show, an excellent show. Anybody who's on Twitter saying that SummerSlam wasn't great, and was just terrible, and everybody's washed, WWE sucks, don't listen to any of these people. Okay? Because SummerSlam, and this is coming from someone, I just want everyone to be, look at my shirt. Okay? This is a Roman Reigns shirt, Tribal Chief shirt. Now, you asked me in 2021, 2022, I would have never bought WWE merch during this time. Ever since AEW started, all the way up to 2022, you couldn't pay me to buy WWE merch. You couldn't pay me to watch the show. Because morally, I felt it was wrong. But I was also just not interested in it. It wasn't the greatest, AEW was super good. And, it felt like, I was on AEW's side. I was cheering for them. I wanted AEW to succeed. I wanted them not necessarily to take over wrestling, but to be side by side with the WWE. What happened? Because I'm sitting here in a Roman Reigns Tribal Chief shirt, and I'm telling you that SummerSlam was just incredible, and Lucha Bros are leaving, and this looks bad for AEW, and I've lost interest in AEW. What happened in the last 2 to 3 years? It's completely changed. It is a completely different program. Here's the thing about WWE, and this is why the Lucha Brothers leaving, why I think that it really sends a message about what AEW is, because when it comes to WWE, people are there for a long time, right? And there's not too much change happening. Even during the draft, right? When you say, there's a Raw draft and a SmackDown draft, it feels like every year, everyone's always like, well, nothing really changed. A couple people went here and there, but nothing really changed. Yeah, good. It shouldn't change. You should not change too much too quick. And that's what AEW does. Now, I've said this before. Every year, hell, every 3 months, AEW feels like a different company than it was 3 months earlier. It's unrecognizable right now. Right now versus 2019, these are two different companies. It is completely unrecognizable, not just in terms of talent, but just in terms of how the show works, how it runs, the passion, the interest. It's not there. Now you get these wrestlers who come into AEW for these 3-year, maybe 4-year contracts, and when they're done, they're out. So that's really my problem with the Lucha Brothers leaving. These are AEW originals. Clearly, if they're not in here for the long run, who is? Right? Who's going to stick with AEW when WWE comes around and offers them a contract? And I don't blame them. Why would you? Why would you stay with AEW? Even if you're getting paid less by WWE, why would you stay in AEW? So you can sit on the shelf for 90% of your career? Look what happened with Andrade, with Miro, Malachi Black. These are people who came in who everybody thought, Keith Lee, these are people who came in who everybody thought, I can't wait to see what this guy does in AEW because this guy was wasted in WWE. I can't wait to see. And then the same thing happens, except worse. Because at least in WWE, yeah, they might have been doing some foolish stuff. They might have, it was questionable booking. They might have been, the promos probably weren't the best. It was the Vince McMahon era. At least they were on TV. At least they were on TV semi-regularly, partly regularly, doing things on television, having matches. They might not have been their full potential in WWE, but I think something is better than nothing. Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that AEW is over because the Lucha Brothers are gone. That's not it at all. The Lucha Brothers were a great team. They were a great tag team. Are they needed in AEW right now? No. AEW has enough talent as it is. But I think that's the problem. Why don't they feel needed in AEW? Why don't they feel needed? Why are they not one of the top tag teams in AEW fighting for the championships? Why are they not in stories? Why is Death Triangle not a faction that we see every week? This is the biggest problem with AEW. They bring new people in, and then they expose the world to these new people, and they put the spotlight on them for a couple of months, and then it's gone. Then that's it. Now, a couple people are able to move past this. They get past the mountain that they have to climb in AEW. They get past that, and they just have this momentum, and they keep on going. Swerve is one of those. Okay, Swerve is a great signing. Good job, Tony Khan. But for every one great signing by Tony Khan, there are 20 other meaningless signings. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is picking AEW over WWE in 2024. Absolutely nobody. So I don't blame the Lucha Brothers. And I don't think they were offered a crazy high amount by WWE. And I don't think they were probably offered more by Tony Khan. Tony Khan will throw money at anybody. Tony Khan traded Cody Rhodes for CM Punk, for Miro, for Andrade, for 25 other ex-WWE superstars, and WWE still won the trade. It's not because they got Cody Rhodes. It's because WWE saw what their flaws were and changed it. The entire world has been screaming at Tony Khan for 4 years, this is what needs to happen. This is what you need to change. This is what you need to improve. This is what you need to do. Tony Khan does not do any of that. And when it comes to matches, this is a dream match I'd love to see. Tony Khan he'll serve that on a plate to us. That's great. Thanks, Tony Khan. Can we get a story with it? No. Can we improve the women's division? No. It is now, but I'm just saying for the first 4 years of AEW, it was terrible. Listen, I don't work for AEW. It's not my responsibility. It's not the fans' responsibility to change the company. It's the fans' responsibility to react 100%. As a fan, You should be voicing your opinion. You should be saying how you feel. But at the end of the day, none of us work for AEW. Okay? We don't have a say in what goes on in the show. So the best we can do, the best we can hope, is to just let our voices be heard and hope our voices are heard. It's Tony Khan's responsibility to make the changes accordingly. It's Tony Khan's responsibility to change AEW. That's what I realized. I realized that a while ago. Me saying what I'm saying and begging Tony and hoping that Tony Khan changes and that AEW changes, that's not my responsibility. That's Tony Khan's responsibility. It's his company, and if he wants the ratings to improve, he should improve the ratings. It's Tony Khan's responsibility to keep the Lucha Brothers here. It's Tony Khan's responsibility to keep Mercedes Moné in AEW when her contract time is up. It's Tony Khan's responsibility to drive interest in AEW, to make me want to care about the show, to make me want to watch the show, which he has ultimately failed to do in 2024. I don't blame the Lucha Bros for leaving. That's all I have to say. Good night.